My name is Tom Desiderio, and what am I doing? I'm painting and traveling and exploring, kind of just on a big adventure of life, just trying to create life, see what I can create, making life the art, I suppose. Learning to live with lots of uncertainty, and that in turn is developing a lot of trust. And for me, it's an interesting question, what am I doing? Because I don't really know. I'm just like going. And it's all happening so serendipitously. Very challenging at times, because of all this uncertainty and because of this. But it's almost like I've just learning to completely let go, and it's creating the space for so much to come in. Like I'm inviting so much in now, and just recently taking my painting a lot more seriously, and really valuing the images inside of me, and feeling the power in them, and feeling how others react to those images, and so it's kind of become a road now for me to walk down with painting and art in general. Painting is just one aspect of what I feel like are my mediums of creation. Because for me, it's just mostly about creation. I just want to bring this world inside of me that I've kind of almost been lost in. In this inner world. And then now I'm kind of like finding such beauty and magic in this outer world. And now I have this opportunity to bring them together, which seems like the best thing possible.
Wonderful. And can you tell us a little bit about your process of how long you've been painting, how you decided that was going to be an expression for you at this time?
Mm-hmm. I've been painting for a long time. But very, just kind of for gifts for my family on Christmas and for birthdays. And I've always just been very attracted to images and to colors, and I suppose I decided that it's an avenue for me to really kind of build a foundation upon, maybe just a couple months ago, when I started making a lot of paintings suddenly and showing them to people, and then this one woman wanted to pay me to make one for her, and then I just like focused on this one painting for like 8 days, just all day, and just like really fell deeply into it, and it was really fulfilling for me to like make it for her, and really just, we talked a little bit before, like I wanted to kind of make like a soul painting for her, so we just talked about like who she is, and what she feels in her is like her deepest sense of who she is, and who and what, just like the highest image of herself. And she was telling me that she wanted to be a mother to all, just like kind of a cosmic mom. And so I really focused on that kind of theme, really wanted to make it personal for her. And it was very hard to let go of that painting. I felt like I was going to keep it at first, but then I thought like it would be a terrible thing to hold on to something like that, rather than give it. It's meant to be given. And then I gave it to her, and it was so awesome. She was like so surprised, because I put a lot of effort into it, more than the ones she'd seen before. It's like probably the painting I put the most effort into. And so this all has happened very recently. And so I think kind of with this seeing that it's like potent for other people to see these images, that that it activates something in them, and it feels good, and like it makes me want to share more. and it makes me value like this imaginary world that's always just been for me, you know. And now I can share it with others.
Great. So we're here at the beginning of this
Yeah.
of this journey. It'll be interesting to see where it takes you. What are some of the things you find attractive about the mobile lifestyle?
I love. I'm very curious, deeply curious person. So I'm trying to kind of weave these experiences into myself, like constantly new experience, you know, and for this idea of growth, this feeling of growth and this expansion, because I feel like the more that I witness and experience that's new and challenging, yes, and exciting and mystifying, like it kind of provides a broader scope inside of me of like who I am suddenly, because I have to identify with it in a way and kind of bring it inside myself, you know. And I love meeting strangers, and I love I love walking on this edge in a way, you know, and just kind of putting myself in a position where all is almost like everything's out of my hands, and all I can do is just take responsibility for myself, you know, and just like, and that's something I'm learning, of course. Like it's a long journey to like take full responsibility of myself, but I'm becoming aware, and like I'm like walking. I feel like I'm just like walking on this like I said, like this edge, and just it's allowing me to develop this tremendous amount of trust, which for me is the most important thing, to really trust in myself and just trust in all this around, just everything. And like the deepest journey for me is just to completely submerge into everything that is like painting and creation. That's like a way to express and a way to like kind of fuel like what's inside of me, and to kind of like link aspects of my existence with this existence together. But ultimately it's just about total submersion into everything.
Do you currently have a home base, and if so, where?
No, I have like a few homes now. You know, I was living in New York City for a while, 2 years, and that's definitely a home. You know, I've like dear kind of soul family there, and people I love, and here in Bali now it's a home for sure, forever.
Hmm.
And California's my home, and these are my main homes now. And I anticipate many more homes to spring up, you know, and that's the best part. Like the earth is my home, you know. I just want, like, I'm in love with earth. I just want to get to know her and touch her and feel her and see all the different sides of earth. And I feel like the more comfortable I am in all these different environments, the more at home I feel. And that's part of the submersion, I guess.
Well, other than those three places, are there any other places that come to mind as favorite places you've been, whether it's for an event or just traveling?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled a lot, and like I said, like I myself feel like such like a multi-layered kind of seemingly contradictory person, that I can fall into so many different environments, you know, and feel myself in them. Like, you know, I was in Egypt during the revolution and just soaking that up, and like the passion and the anger and just like witnessing that, and then, you know, being in the Amazon in Peru, and being, you know, in the very north of the world in Sweden, like, you know, camping under the stars, or I don't know, like everywhere. I've been a lot of places, and definitely found like deep parts of myself in all of them.
And is there something that you do that enables you to sustain yourself through all these travels while you're traveling?
Yeah.
How does that look?
Well, I've worked jobs, like I was just previously working in New York City for a while, and just doing like different jobs, like canvassing for Greenpeace for a little while, and then doing some writing for my friend, and so that kind of sustained me. I just travel really cheap. Like, I've been living these last 3 months just with friends. Just, I live a lot on the generosity of others at this moment.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's amazing. And I think that's part of like me kind of surrendering everything into the air, and people feel like the purity in that, and so they're drawn to that kind of journey. You know, yeah, I've been very supported, and so now it's kind of like me. I've been so guided and so supported in this way, and so now it's like me coming into my own self-sufficiency, which will in turn lead me to really support other people, which is, will be awesome.
I've noticed that in this community, people keep track a lot less about who owes what to whom.
Totally.
You know, it's if you can give, you give, and when it's time to receive, someone will likely be there for you.
Yeah.
What are some of the most important skills or abilities that you either were born with or have developed that enable you to live this kind of location-independent lifestyle?
Curiosity, because no matter what, my curiosity will transcend all my fears. Because it's not like I'm without fears or doubts. You know, I have lots of those.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's a part of me that's always just wanting to like keep pushing, you know, keep exploring, keep discovering, and kind of breaking myself down apart. You know, like welcoming that breaking down. So I really value that in myself, and I value. I feel like I have like a really great capacity to love people, you know, which has been like kind of, it has been wounded in certain ways. It's now kind of flowering again, and I feel like that is a great gift because it really kind of allows me to make these deep connections with people all over the world, all the time. Like I know wherever I never worry about like not finding the right people, you know, like I know like if I go somewhere, like I'll be welcomed, and I'll find people to share love with, and so I value that a lot, and then I value kind of like this playfulness I have with life, you know, where I can really laugh at everything. I think a sense of humor is so important, and any life at all, and especially a life where you're constantly putting yourself kind of like on the edge. Because the sense of humor is like, kind of like takes a veil away to just really see like that everything is not as serious as we think it is, you know, and it's just dance. I kind of see life as just a big dance, you know, we're just exploring. So I value those a lot, you know, and I feel like these three qualities kind of allow all these other things to bubble up in the free way, like my art and stuff like that.
Well, you've shared some of the exciting parts about travel for you. What are some of the tedious tasks or the shadow side of having such freedom and having so many experiences?
Tedious or shadow side.
For some people, it's going through customs. It could be anything.
Well, yeah, that's tedious. But I wouldn't really make that what I would find. I feel like
I mean, it may be that you know, your philosophy of life doesn't really make that kind of distinction. It's just that this kind of lifestyle is often you know, held out there as such a wonderful way of living and all that. I like to also help our viewers understand that you know sometimes loneliness and uncertainty and you know I mean this kind of lifestyle can definitely push your buttons sometimes.
Totally, you know, and that I welcome it, you know, and because for me I'm not seeking like just of course pleasure, but like more deeply just kind of like self-awareness and it's kind of a deepened sense of being, and so so all of that experience and like lots of loneliness, and I've struggled with doubts, lots of doubts, and um, fears, of course. And when you're living in an uncertain place, and especially for me where I really don't have lots of money at any point, and um, it's just living with total uncertainty. And again, like, I welcome it so much, because I think that's where you find like the gems.
All right. Do you feel that living a location-free lifestyle, as you are, and like many of us are, contributes anything significant to the world at large? And if so, what would that be?
Yeah, I do. I think that the more of us who kind of uproot ourselves and just, like, especially from any sort of like identification to one location, or trying to limiting ourselves to, like, I don't know, for me, I see like such greatness in just kind of transcending all of like these borders, and just kind of finding a deepened sense of who we are, like, through that. And for me, like, my scope of my vision is not so grand at this moment, of like seeing how like living like this is affecting the entire world, and I can see really how it's affecting me and how it's affecting the people that are involved in my life personally. And I guess that affects the world at large, because if lots of people are doing that, then you just keep growing, So yeah, totally, it's huge, just kind of teaching people that there are so many possibilities, so many roads to walk. I think that's important for people to just understand that they can do anything, because people often say, and like one of my friends was telling me, like, so many people come to her and like are like, I wish I could live the way you live, and she's just like, okay, just do it. And they're like, oh, but I can't, I'm afraid, or it's not the right time. And it's cool to just show people that, like, find that they can.
What advice would you give to somebody wanting to follow a similar path? Or what advice would you give to yourself, maybe before you started on this path?
I would say, take everything you experience deeply into yourself, and see it all as a reflection of yourself. Like, don't resist or judge or run away. Don't run away from anything. Like, really, really look at what you're involved within, and that's where you find the mirror, where you can take responsibility for yourself. And that provides this deepening sense of self-awareness. And also, whenever you're traveling and you just feel like a jolt, you meet someone or hear a name, like, just do it, just go. Like, leave, even if you have to abandon, like, weeks of plans, just go, and just always follow that spark, that jolt, and constantly letting go of everything, letting go of everything.
If money were no object, would you be doing anything differently? Is there maybe a project that you would take on, or where would your passion and your heart lead you if into anything different?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be doing much different. Maybe I'd just be like, there are definitely people I'd like to give some money. I'd give them money.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'd have a place with lots of people like you staying there.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
All right. Well, last question here. Any last thoughts you would like to share with the community of viewers that will be watching this?
I suppose, like, if we use the experience of travel in a way that really shines that mirror back into us, that's when it becomes beneficial. Because I feel like lots of people could just go on senseless quests, if they're constantly being the victim to the events in their surroundings. And I've been in many challenging situations, and I've been in many situations where I've had personally been the perpetrator of the challenges, and where I have, caused lots of pain or things to fall, or et cetera, as everyone does. And for me, the greatest lesson is to just really see myself, and I guess what I'm trying to share is like, just know who you are, and the more you see, and the more you feel, and the more you use what you see and feel to like broaden the colors inside yourself, like that's how you get to know, or one of the ways you get to know. And I think just the more we turn our focus like deeply inwards to like really find out who we are, like that's what will kind of really help the world in a grand way. Just kind of increasing the population of people who are conscious. Yeah.
Great advice. Thanks for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thank you.
Good luck on your journey.
Thank you very much.